Have you ever bought a thermostat from Dubai?
I assume thermostats in Dubai go to 45.
You can't say for sure that they don't, but I'd say they're
The
mostly trying to
heating
cool rooms
wouldn't have
down.
to come on. Yeah, the heating wouldn't have to come on.
I'd say their main objective with altering the temperature at home is to make it cooler.
Go the other way.
I don't think anyone's ever got up in the morning, it's 42 degrees and gone.
But in the UK,
chilly.
you might like your house to be as hot as Dubai. No?
They built really sick cooling towers back in the day to create massive convection drawers, so they could, and they'd even run water through the floor or something to get. I don't remember. They had clever ways of
In Dubai?
just in hot parts of the world. They had really clever ways of cooling down big buildings before air conditioning.
That's
Really,
amazing.
they could drop it by like 15 degrees. They were really clever.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very clever.
When you have a car without air conditioning, just open the windows.
And they had those in cars. Those big convection.
Yeah.
They
100%.
Well, if you just pumped the air from Dubai here and pumped our air there, you wouldn't need
would balance out.
Yeah, you wouldn't need an aircon unit, would you?
That's better than the thermostat.
Yeah.
business.
Or not even pump it. Just make sure, because the air's rotating, right? So just pause the air there, just keep the air there, and then it'll rotate.
I can't believe we're talking about this when you used an actual 600 degree heat gun to heat this podcast room up earlier.
In no time.
Well, it would at 600 degrees.
The audio is not great when it's on, of course.
That's why that's there, everyone.
Welcome, Matt Jones,
Hello, mate.
to the On the Brink podcast.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
name of the
Feel honoured.
That's what we called it, was it?
I've not done many
On the Brink.
podcasts. I was going to do one with my brother. Such is life. We haven't got round to it. So this one's probably better.
Well, I've
It's
done
actually
two
happening.
in a little bit now, haven't I? Since we started.
Yeah,
Is this your idea?
now.
Who provided the sofa? Because they're the most involved.
Me and Ben made the podcast room.
Here we go. You
Do
two,
you like
well
it?
done. Yeah.
This is
Well done, Ben.
purpose built. Look, that plant.
I noticed
doesn't
my
need
helmet's there.
Watering.
Why?
We borrowed a helmet from someone.
You got a prop. That's your prop there.
Yeah, it's good.
Missing the eye from our old sign.
Where?
It's quite a mix of stuff.
Someone nicked the
When
eye.
did you hire your Pierce Cycles medal?
This is my Pierce Cycles.
That looks tired and old.
Second place.
Second place medal,
How long ago? Is it made of lead?
2017.
No, it's not that long ago. I'm surprised you were still getting second place then.
There's a cup up there as well. I asked everyone to bring in their medals and their like cups and.
Oh, you didn't ask me.
I did.
All right, there's a cup.
I did. That's my wine cup. I did. Maybe I didn't ask you.
Yeah, it slipped my mind.
Have you got some?
Yeah, I've had yeah.
What's your
best looking cup?
like? Yeah.
I've had a few good trophies. The Czechs were always the best thing at comps because they were massive. Often they were made of cardboard or kind of like this corrugated plastic, so you could fit them in your bike bag. Some of them are made of like huge, heavy plasterboard, so they would actually weigh so much to get home. I always got them home.
But you've actually got to pay them in.
No, they don't. You don't pay them in. You go and get cash from like a woman in a desk right afterwards, and then they started doing bank transfer, which is more annoying. So I used to love the cash. I once won. The first big result I got was third place at 26 Tricks, which is in Leogang, Austria, in 2013. I won €2,000, and I was probably, well, I can tell you how old I was. I was 19 or 18. I would have been 18. And when you're 18, if you manage to have £2,000 at home, it's going to mostly be in like fivers, £2 coins, maybe tenors and 20s, right?
Christmas cards.
So like when when you say like, I'm about to go and get £2,000 for third place, you're like, it's going to be a wad.
Yeah.
Like I won't even get it in my
How am I gonna
pocket.
get this home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 4 notes because they have €500 notes. And then I was so scared of losing one in the wind. You know?
You can never gripped it so tight.
'Cause every one of them was like a good amount of savings. And I thought if one of these blows away, it's a big dent.
So you get your £500 note,
Yeah. You don't-
€500 note.
which is, I can't believe that's a
But
thing.
what
Yeah.
do you do with it? Because everyone will be suspicious of it, right?
Yeah, I used to go to Tesco's and really haggle with the guy in the little currency exchange bureau de change kiosk.
This is okay.
No, well he said we're not supposed to take that, but I'd built up a relationship with him because I'd been doing comps for like a year, so I'd always have francs or Swiss francs, not French francs.
Yeah.
That's way back.
Yeah.
Euros, dollars, but there'd always be the price on the board, and he'd point the price of the board, and then we'd spend like half an hour negotiating a bit more, a bit less, mostly for the fun of it. And because he could have just gone, "What are you on about, mate? The price is the price." But then he actually would love it too.
He was into it.
Yeah, it wasn't his money. I don't think he was worried about Tesco's. So he took the €500 notes. Yeah. And then I learnt that actually the rates there are regardless are the worst in the world.
Probably the
You
worst
shouldn't.
place to
Yeah.
go ever.
I learnt like 2 years later, and then
Oh,
that even things change as
you
well.
could just have an offshore account and put it into.
Yeah, or just keep it in a drawer and then wait for the exchange rate to change.
That's even more.
But that's comps.
So the checks, did you have to? Are they like excess baggage because they're so big?
You could put them in a bike bag. But if you didn't have a bike bag, let's say you did Red Bull cliff diving, and you just need a pair of Speedos, you'd have to then buy a suitcase.
Massive check.
You'd have to buy almost a bike bag.
That's sort of embarrassing though.
Yeah.
Going through to excess baggage to paying your massive check. That you
But
want.
a check is legal tender though, right? Because all they need to do is who's it from, who's it's to.
Yeah, these ones
pay
didn't
this
have
money.
all that written on it.
So it wasn't. You couldn't literally go and pay it in again
No.
after they've given you your two.
No.
Excuse me.
It just said like third place, and then they scribbled Matt Jones on it, and it would have had the event name and all the sponsors and stuff. They look cool.
So you preferred the big checks to the fancy trophies?
Yeah.
Really?
Checks are sick. Yeah, I've got them in my
Says
garage.
money on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's that.
There's that.
The trophies always broke flying home. Some comps, a lot of the Swiss comps tried to make these really intricate ones out of like a cassette and a chainring welded to it. And then there's even one that had 2 disc rotors because it was Swiss, and they like made out of bike parts a fondue set.
Whoa!
So that you'd sit your top pan, your Le
Out
Crusoe
of disc
on the top
breaker.
disc rotor, and then the bottom disc rotor would have your heating element that would sit inside the 6-bolt thing. Very clever, but like everything, like you get there and you're like, "Oh, mum, look at that! Oh, it smashed to bits."
Broken.
How
Yeah.
did you hold that up on the podium? A fondue
Yeah,
set?
you had to hold it. It wasn't on, and you check.
I always think is it World Cup they get the lion? Or is it World Champs?
I've
A
never seen
cuddly
that.
thing.
The cuddly- It's such a anti-climax, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
the
lame.
fact you've literally risked your life
Yeah,
to go as fast as you possibly can.
you got given a lion.
The gnarliest track ever is like, oh, you got one of those cuddly lions.
Yeah, that's lame.
You didn't get paid for coming either.
Did I get paid for World Champs?
It's a
No,
bit
they
of a
don't get paid
controversial
to turn up.
subject, isn't it? Yeah,
Did they get paid to turn up? They don't, do they?
don't think so.
Really?
Pretty bad.
Yeah,
Well, you don't get paid for the Olympics, do you?
Do you not?
No, because it's a. I don't know. I'm saying it like I
he's gonna
know.
run with it. He now has to justify his point that he doesn't even know.
No, I don't think you wouldn't, would you? You want to go and get a gold medal, you don't get paid for turning up.
Why
You
not?
might get paid to turn up to a meet that's sponsored
Well,
by
I think-
someone, but the Olympics isn't
I
like
think
a.
that's a lot of the point, though, isn't it? I think Bernard Kerr's quite vocal on this, isn't he? That
Just in
actually
general,
it's
he's vocal.
An entertainment thing. You know, it's an entertainment product that's being put on TV, and the riders don't get paid.
I agree and disagree. Obviously, everyone should be rewarded more, but I went through this quandary at one point in my career when at slopestyle competitions there'd be 16 riders, 20 riders, sometimes more if there was qualification, and you felt like at times everyone was there for you, and that I learned well. For a lot of people still do, and they kind of are, because if none of the riders turned up to this event, the event wouldn't happen. The people in the crowd or the stadium wouldn't have anything to watch. The course wouldn't be ridden. The organisers wouldn't have anything to live stream. No one would get paid, right? But we're given the opportunity to ride a course that someone spent an immense amount of money on in front of people that have paid money to come and watch you. So it's kind of like a give and take thing. We wouldn't have a career without the events. So to say that you should be paid just to turn up is all right, but I don't see those people kind of creating their own events to otherwise, like they still are going.
So
I haven't explained it very well, but
it's like
it's like-
validating your.
well, everyone has something to gain or potentially lose, but that's just sport, isn't it? You're given an environment to sell yourself and win and better yourself. And I don't necessarily know how important it is that the rider should get
I've got,
paid loads to turn up.
I've got a feeling that like so say we took the top 10 World Cup races in the world to a track and it's just a chill day. It's a chill day, we're just going up the uplift. I reckon as soon as you got the free lap timers out, everyone would go 100%. Even though it's not a paid event, you're racing each other, aren't you?
Yeah.
I reckon everyone. I would.
Probably
If we
depends.
wanna
It probably
chill
depends
back-
on what's the next weekend in their calendar, doesn't it? If
So
there's
say
nothing
it's-
in their calendar for 2
so
months,
say there's nothing
yeah,
in the
yeah,
calendar.
they'd go 100%. Yeah.
Everyone would go 100%, wouldn't they? I would. You would.
Yeah. When
I'd
it's
want to beat you.
competitive.
You'd want to beat me.
It depends on what was said in the uplift truck, doesn't it? As soon as one person takes it seriously, they
Watch
all would.
this.
Yeah.
As soon as that's said.
Yeah.
Watch this. Do you remember when we did that enduro race and Jono said the very last stage we did this enduro race at Eastridge. It was raining, it was horrible, a horrible day.
My brother Jono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about Jono in a minute.
Yeah.
But I think it was all the 50 to 1 lot was sat with us and we were all chatting away. He was just about to go for the very last stage of the day. The beach went and he turned around and went, "Watch this." But massive pedal stroke in, snapped his chain, went straight over.
No way.
Straight over the handlebar.
They would have
Chain
died.
flapping
Were
everywhere.
you all dying?
I couldn't do my run because I was laughing so much. It was so
Those 50 to 1 boys would have loved that.
It was honestly,
Yeah.
it was perfect. It's a shame no one was watching because it was just one of the perfect Jono moments.
They're the moments.
When did you meet Jono?
God, good question. I can't remember.
Genuinely,
A long time
when
ago.
Did you, when were you consciously aware?
Well, my mum said that
Oh,
in the womb we used to like climb over each other and like always be
Fight.
fighting for space. Yeah, I think it's probably quite gnarly sharing a womb with another human. Most people just have it on their own.
yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know,
guess so.
like almost everyone doesn't have to share it with someone.
Well, there's battling that happens.
He was born 7 minutes before me, so he got the jump on that whole shot. Literally.
Quite a whole shot. 7 minutes.
Yeah. That must have been tough.
That's
Having
quite
Jono
lovely.
climb over you.
Does your earliest memory involve Johnny?
Yeah, we were like we were always in a pram together.
Do you remember being in a pram?
No, but I've seen
I
the
remember
pictures.
being in a pram.
Do you?
Yeah.
Were you just in a pram when you were 11?
No.
'Cause there's
I
not-
remember being in a pram
Last week.
because we were about to walk to the shops and we were getting ready to go to the shops. So I was in the pram, everyone was ready. And
How
I
do you
felt,
even know everyone
yeah,
was ready?
Yeah,
How vivid-
I felt warm.
You can't remember
Yeah.
on your earliest memory
No, I can.
whether you felt
I
warm
can.
or
I
not.
felt warm.
No, you don't remember.
Yeah.
That's not
No,
true.
I didn't even know.
I
No, this is
felt
true.
warm.
Yeah. Okay, I want to get to the end.
I shot myself, and that's
That's why.
that's why I was warm.
Yeah.
And then my mum bollocks me because everyone's ready
Everyone
to go to
was
the shops.
ready.
Yeah, and
You
I
were-
had to get back
You
in
were
time
red
to
hot
get
because you
changed.
checked yourself. Yeah.
That was my 7th birthday.
Maybe it stuck in your mind because you thought this is going to be important one day. This story.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was quite
This is
my.
going to be a
I'm not
theme
sure that was
in
my
life.
earliest memory, but that was one of the earliest ones. I remember. I was definitely in the pram. I definitely shot myself.
That would do it.
Jono wasn't in that memory then.
No, I don't know what my earliest memory was, but we did, yeah, everything together. I think that's why we do what we do. We're competitive in a healthy way. Just
I guess people know your history. I don't think you need to.
No, I've sort of said it, yeah.
Or do they?
what
Do
I've
people know?
got an identical twin brother. We're genetically identical. We're pretty similar actually, but we're very different. He races downhill.
Because like the first time I met you, for instance, was probably in my flat. And
Yeah.
you come to get like I don't know what you were there for. I think
Suspension.
Gareth Ritchie was there.
Yeah, it would have been.
It was Gareth, and he was helping you out, and I had some bit of suspension that you needed or something.
Yeah,
That was my first.
G Ritchie. He was help. A few people have helped us when we were really young.
Paul Miles.
Paul Miles, all of whom are your mates, because you were in the
Who I was working with them.
at Fishers,
It was yeah.
and then
A lot of assistants came out of that workshop, one way or another.
yeah,
There was always.
that was like the boom of like
It was fantastic.
bicycle
It was
technicians.
like 2005, 6 maybe, and it was like I remember it was so. For some context, it was the SRAM technical workshop for the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And it would be like
I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know why I'm agreeing. I was 12.
all the warranty return forks you would just take them all apart and build 5 good ones out of the 10 bad ones.
Oh, nice.
But warranty them all, and then you'd have literally sets of boxes, rock
Yeah.
shops boxes underneath your bench, and someone from the industry would phone up and say, "Got any forks?" And you'd go, "Yeah." You got any frames?
Oh, right. It's school. It's the
Swap
same as
shop.
school.
Yeah, it was
It's
swap
playing
shop.
cards
Yeah.
with bikes.
And the warranty team at Madison would send you a console frame, and you'd send them a set of boxes. And
Everyone
won.
wins.
Everyone
Yeah.
won. It was brilliant. And you guys did all right out of that as well. Because you weren't sponsored at that
I
point.
didn't know that. So is that what was kind of facilitating our like brake lever braking and you
Yeah.
guys being able to go,
Yeah.
I can help you fix that? Yeah, that was sick. I don't know why you helped us.
Because we had all this stuff.
Was my mum really friendly or something?
I don't know why. You were just cool dudes, weren't you? You just like were locals and
Yeah.
stuff. So
That's what it is, isn't it?
it's just locals helping each other out, really. And you were always around at Woburn, digging.
Do you think local has expanded now? The term local, do you think it's bigger because of there's more bike parks, there's social media, you know someone from 2 hours away because of Instagram. Do you think the word local has a wider label now?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like
Because local, when I was a kid, meant you're from the village.
Yeah, and
If you were biking, it would be like you definitely ride at Woburn.
yeah,
Woburn.
yeah.
Someone from Chicksands wasn't local.
No, I wasn't a local at Woburn, but I knew the locals at Woburn, and you knew exactly who they were because
So
they
you're-
were just
yeah.
the people that rode there.
But I think it's got to do with
It's
location.
like pub culture. Are you local? That's like a question.
But it's location and activity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're like the downhill racers, because we all knew each other from downhill racing, so you didn't have to be a local because I knew you from racing. It was almost like we met up every weekend anyway because
Yeah.
we were at racing. So like your dirt jump crew, who
Mm.
you were competing against or whatever, they weren't locals, but they were acquaintances in that respect. In just that you
Yeah.
did this one thing, this break off genre of mountain biking together,
Yeah.
and that made them your locals in a sense.
Yeah. It was the people you saw every weekend were the locals. Anyone that wasn't there every weekend
Whereas
wasn't.
the people physically in your local could be from any genre of biking,
Yeah.
because especially Woburn, because someone could be riding the steeps and the dirt jumps,
Yeah, all on the same
and
bike.
digging,
All on a hardtail.
all on the same bike.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never actually competed against. I just heard what you said. You said the people that you then competed against. I just thought about it. I never ever have competed against anyone that I grew up riding with. Not dirt jumps anyway. Four cross, yes, but
Other than your bro.
no one else from the Woburn scene really went on to do slope style.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought to myself then, how much better would it have been if I grew up in the same town as Sam Pilgrim or Sam Reynolds or, you know, what would that have been like? Would it have been better or worse?
But can they say the same?
yeah. Has anyone
Yeah.
done that? Has anyone
They
got?
could probably say the same. So Sam Pilgrim's local probably only got Sam Pilgrim, right?
Good. Yeah, Sam Reynolds. Yeah, he lived very quite close to Brendan Fairclough, but Brendan Fairclough raced downhill. Bernard downhill.
Because it's quite.
Ollie There is a Surrey hotspot. You've got Ollie Wilkins, who was a pro dirt jump rider. Mike Smith.
Yeah.
But they all were never at the same time, were they?
Yeah.
Never at the same time.
So it's not.
Correct me
like
if I'm wrong.
It's not like a load of riders like downhillers.
Yeah.
Ten a penny, aren't they?
Yeah, but is there a downhill community or local spot where in the same 3 years multiple racers emerged and became World Cup racers?
Shrewsbury.
Yeah, all the Shropshire lot. It always seems to just seems to breathe in, doesn't it?
Really?
Yeah, they're all rapid. Joe Smith,
Matt Simmons.
Matt Simmons.
Well, I suppose the Athertons all came from one place, didn't they?
Simmons, yeah, they all came out at
Good
they all
point.
came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas dirt jump seems to be quite a hard, or slope style, should I say, seems to be quite a hard thing to elevate to professionally.
Yeah, well, easier now. So, well, no, I don't want to say that. That's what everyone says. Oh, it's not like the old days. But let me give you some examples because the tricks are harder now. So it's not easier to become a pro. But to get your first foot on the ladder, now there's a lot of help. So a lot of people can tell you how big to make a kicker, what the dimensions need to be. It's very easy to find out how to build a ramp. You can buy an airbag. You can buy them from China for a few £1,000. Before that, you had to buy them from Europe for 30,000 quid. Before that, there was foam pits. Before that, like Glenn Coe, who I looked up to when I got into dirt jumping, he did his first backflip in a concrete skate park and landed on his head. So I learnt my first backflip to a foam pit, but it was an hour away. So there are youngsters now with compounds. There are also youngsters without compounds. But I think things like airbags, lighter bikes, all of those things. And actually the biggest thing I've missed is just the evidence that slopestyle exists, that it is a career, that
just the media.
Those are the tricks that I need to learn if I want to be pro. Before it was the comps weren't on YouTube, they weren't even on Instagram, they were in magazines. You didn't even get to see a video of someone do a 360 tail whip. You saw a still and you started to think, so how's he got in that position? And then a DVD would come out 6 months later.
Yeah.
They showed that event. It's like, okay, that's how you do a 360 tail whip. That's what it looks like from takeoff to landing. So, yeah, I'm not one to say that, it's not like it used to be. It's way easier for everyone now. But I think if someone does a trick in a comp, like a cash roll tail whip, and let's say you really wanted to learn it, you could see that from 25 different angles in high slow-mo.
Yeah.
You could see the setup that the person learnt it on, and you could replicate it.
Is that worse or better or just different?
Well, it's sick that slopestyle is like more of a career now. I was very lucky that I arrived at the time when it was established. There were comps all around the world. There was some dirt jump slopestyle comps in the UK. Dirt jump comps. There is a difference, right? I did dirt jumping. Didn't know that slopestyle existed. The only slopestyle comps were in sort of Canada and stuff like that, and maybe Germany, Austria. So I had to learn to ride slopestyle by going to comps. Right. Then I got really lucky. I had a little compound with a mulch jump, and I started building a drop and a boner log. I started building slopestyle features. Yeah. That transformed everything for me. But now there's UK slopestyle courses that you can pay to ride, which is sick. So you could sharpen all your tools without having to have a compound and then go to a slopestyle comp, which are more readily available. And yet the downside is there's 100 times more people trying. A lot of them have got very good bikes that are really lightweight, that allow them to do good tricks. So it's much for muchness, isn't it? They're entering into a more saturated market.
So slopestyle, let's take some parallels to what you said, like cliff diving or high diving. Cliff diving, high diving is a real gymnastic sport. Right?
Yeah, it's acrobatics.
So I would technically say that slopestyle is similar, an acrobatic sport. When do you think, and saying that how popular it is, how many parks there are, you can go to places, when do coaches start coming?
Good question. I've seen riders at big comps over my competition career with mental coaches, like performance coaches, but no, this is your body position doing a Superman seat grab.
That matters, right?
Yeah.
It's like a thing. There is a right way to do it.
I don't know the answer. I never had a coach. I've never had a coach. I don't know any pro top slopestyle rider that's been coached to where they are, because I think it's all well and good until you reach the point that you need to break new ground. And that comes from creativity, inspiration, and actually just understanding what you're capable of. And I'd really, really struggle to hear a coach tell me, let's try this. And I'd say, try what? And then they'd try and explain to you this idea they've had. And it's not coming from you, is it? So, but why is that? Because downhill riders have coaches. Every Olympic sport has a coach.
Because it's getting to the point now with downhill where, so say there's a section of trail, we're at the point now where there is a correct way of riding it.
Yeah.
And if you go outside of that, you're slower. And there's coaches, there's people on track looking at it going, that's the right way through. And then eventually will it get to the point where so style stops being a thing, because the quickest way through there is to ride it with this shoulder down in this particular thing. So you no longer have style. Or
also,
nuance, like skiing, for instance.
Well, let's talk about snow sports. That literally has slopestyle. Skiing and snowboard have slopestyle. They have coaches. I think they have more coaches because it's in a more established sport with a governing body, like British ski. I don't know what it's actually called, but they provide the coach. So already you've got this coach that you didn't have to source and pay for. But the thing about high diving and a lot of gymnastics, in the Olympics, don't you have to tell the judges what your run's going to be? And then they judge you on how allocate it a difficulty and judge you on how well you did it. Is that right?
It's with diving, I think.
Yeah, there's certain sports like that. So that's definitely not how slopestyle works. If anything, you kind of hold back what you're going to give.
It's a surprise.
You kind of shock the judges, shock and awe. Well, I'd like that approach. Some riders just repeated in practice. But I don't know. I'm clearly resistant to the idea of slopestyle riders having coaches.
But there still is a finite amount of tricks.
Yeah, of course it's fine. It's not unlimited, but
to execute those finite amount of tricks, there must be a process.
Mm.
Well, has it plateaued yet? There's a plateau, right, of physics where
they can make jumps bigger.
they can make jumps bigger, but you can only do so much, can't you? Before people start dying.
They can make bikes lighter.
But there's a
Best series 100-foot jumps, and they're expecting
quadruple
20 on
backflips. Yeah.
It's a problem, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know.
Someone will do it.
That's scary.
Well, maybe
Tom,
there is no limit on slopestyle, but there would be has it reached that plateau yet? Where no, it's still going.
Yeah.
So we're still on a sport that's gone from pretty much start out when you started to, and it's still going. It's still on this process of getting bigger and bigger and more and more and more. And people are expecting new ground broken every comp.
Would you coach?
I don't know if I'd be a good coach.
Because you coached me to backflip.
Yeah, I taught Steve to backflip.
And I remember.
I think I'm very good at teaching people to backflip. I think if I'm good at anything that isn't me riding a bike, I don't feel like I'm not humble saying this, but I think I'm a really good backflip teacher. I've taught loads of people to backflip.
The stuff you said to me.
Yeah.
I wiped my mind and then just did what you said, and then I did a backflip.
Yeah.
Unbelievable! I couldn't believe it.
I like breaking stuff down. I like physics. It's hard to watch yourself do something because you need someone to film you. But when you watch someone do something, it's very obvious where improvements needed or why it didn't work for me. So maybe I could be a coach. But
so could you?
Can you imagine coaching someone and then you realise that they actually just ride like you? How disappointed you'd be. You think, what could you have been if I didn't get involved?
I think all coaches are like that.
Yeah, maybe.
All coaches are those who can't teach, right?
Where would you? So let's take this sport, right? We're talking about coaching now, but let's say this sport started from pretty much start out when you started, so all this way up here where we're talking about plateau, but it might be 10 years in the future. If you could have a time machine, where would you start? Where you started? Or would you want to learn now and have to do bigger tricks and better tricks and break new ground with what they're doing now? Or would you rather start then? Is it a risk thing?
I often say to myself, when I learned to double backflip, I remember thinking, if I went back in time 10 years, I'd be doing sellout shows in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, because the bike would have had 48 spoke wheels, 3-piece cranks. It would have weighed so much. Yeah. My jeans would have been, I've just bought some Grandad trousers because they're comfy, but my jeans would have been so baggy and my shoes would have had such big tongues that I might not have even been able to do a flip. You know?
Your chain wallet.
So it's all very well saying, if I could go back, my chain wallet, did you say? Yeah. But to answer your question, I wouldn't have done it any differently. I think I would have, if I could go back and do anything differently, I'd have started YouTube content, filming stuff way earlier.
I agree.
I'd have documented all of it and said this footage will be invaluable one day.
I remember riding stuff at the local tracks and the local jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were doing stuff up the woods for us.
Yeah.
We were doing 360s, we were doing no-foot one-handers for us. None of us would film it.
That's good. That's important.
And you'd just go home, and you'd know amongst your mates. You maybe go to the pub later and go, "Whoa, that was wicked jump earlier," or whatever. None of us filmed it, and I wish I had.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
you'd see the magazines and you'd see someone doing a 360.
I had
And all, the difference between you and them was they filmed it. That was
Yeah.
it.
I had a
Yeah.
list of tricks on an A4 piece of paper. When I was like doing school homework and stuff, I'd have that next to it, and I'd always add to it, cross things out, of order of the tricks I wanted to learn. That was, and I'd write them down. I wouldn't share it with anyone. I wouldn't do it for anyone else. I always had a plan. I always had a vision. I had tricks I desperately wanted to learn, but that wasn't for competitions either. That was literally for me, and that's the most important thing. I wanted to land it whether anyone was watching or not.
Yeah.
And then that does change because you're opened up to the opportunity that landing those tricks in a competition run can bring. And you experience what it's like to do that, and that it feels like badass, right? Landing a cool competition run. But those, if you don't have that in you, and if you're not drawn to go up the woods on your own to build the jump that's required to try the 270 tail whip, needs, for me, a left hip. And if there wasn't a left hip the right dimensions, I'd have to build it. And to build it, I'd have to get the train not home but to the different station to then go up the woods where my wheelbarrow and shovel was in stashed, do 50 wheelbarrows in my school uniform, then go home. And then, that's what I did. And I learned that from Jimmy Pratt. I went to these trails when I was really young called Jimmy's Trails. And he said he had a berm he'd built that had 1,700 wheelbarrows in it. It's 13 foot tall. He knew, yeah. And I said, that's so many. He's like, well, yeah, I do 50 after work every day and then 100 or 150 on weekends. And that week I started doing that. I had a tally in the dirt of how many I'd do, and I'd do 50 every evening and 100. I don't know if he did 150. I did 100 on weekends, and quite quickly you built something. But did it on my own. Sometimes with a guy called Sam, we'd smash out more together. But that was building a jump that then I could try the trick on, and that's so important. So I think if you have a coach, you're going to miss that. If you're just kind of given a compound, you're going to miss that. And if you haven't experienced all those things, you're not going to go as far down the road of progression as someone that's had to build it themselves.
Is there anything still
I
on the list?
personally think I love building stuff. What, tricks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still want to do some like weird creative tricks like I've done more in the last few years.
I saw you.
I want to
try
jump over my
some
house this year.
Weird MX whip 360.
Yeah, I was just toying around
I
with
saw
stuff.
that.
Airbags, you can try what you want.
That
Yeah,
was
like a
cool.
moto whip to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing around with that in Barcelona, trying to do a big whip, stall it, and then make it carry on into a 360.
When's the last time you rode and didn't film it?
I make a point to do that now,
Do it a
but
lot.
yeah, then even then I think I should be filming this, like you just said.
Yeah.
So that you can't win. YouTube's a tough business to be in because it's relentless. You're always self-evaluating. You're judging yourself on the performance of the video. You're judging yourself on before you've even uploaded the video. You're trying to tell a story, but you're trying to really perform. There's so many elements that contribute to making a good YouTube video. And yeah, it's a hard business to be in. But do I regret getting into it? Absolutely not. It's like probably the best thing I've ever done. Wish I did it earlier. But what I'm trying to say is, the point I'm trying to make is, it detracts a bit from what you get out of a riding session.
Yeah.
And of course it would.
So yeah, YouTube then. That's something I wanted to talk to you about, because I think the positive side of YouTube is quite obvious to see. It's like if you're a good rider, you're personable, you got something cool to say on film, and people are interested in watching you. It kind of comes to you, right? It's like
Yeah.
you can make a success of it.
Yeah.
But what does it take to do that? Like, what are maybe the things people don't know about YouTube that you would say make it hard?
YouTube's hard because it takes, when someone watches a 15-minute video at home, that may have taken 3 days to make. When you expect 3 a week, you need to find 9 days in a week to create those videos, It's hard because people want change, they want progress, they want change and progress. So you need to be building something that's different to the last video, as well as building on top of the last video. It takes investment. You usually need space to film videos, unless you're really lucky and you live next to if you lived in Whistler, you'd have a good run for 6 months, but then people would want to see you ride somewhere else. I was resistant to getting into YouTube because I didn't really understand it, and I just thought, I can't be a YouTuber. I'm a contest rider. Why I can't be? And I said that to a guy called Harry Main, pro BMX rider. He had a massive YouTube channel, and he said to me, I don't know what you're talking. I said to him, I don't know what videos I'd make. What would I make videos about? Like learning a new trick? And he was like, exactly. And I said, well, yeah, okay, fair enough, good point. But where would I film it? And he said, we were at my compound. He said, you literally own a set, a filming set. You own a studio, a private studio. And it clicked then. He said,
He was the guy that made.
yeah, I got to thank him 100%. I went away and bought a camera that week and tried it, and then backed off a bit and then went all in. So it was only because of Harry, and he was very successful. But at the same time, I got him into mountain biking, like sold him his first dirt jump bike. He blew me away with how good he was at riding it. But yeah, YouTube takes a lot of things, and it can be very lucrative. It can be very stressful. It can be really good for sponsors, or sponsors could probably wear thin with your style of making videos. So it's whatever you make it, but I'm pleased I did it. The only regret is that I wish I could do it in parallel with like riding like I used to, like headphones in, or just riding with your mates, pretending and knowing that didn't exist. Like I wish I could block it out that I even do it, because I've always got one eye on, or maybe someone, even if I'm not filming, I'll say, can someone just film me landscape on their phone? Because I know that could then later potentially be used in a video, and you think, oh, I need that. Well, that sucks.
Or worse, you ask someone to film them, they don't film it in landscape.
Gonna crop this in hard.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. I'm pleased I did it. Sam Pilgrim was already there in mountain biking. A guy called Seth's Bike Hacks, but a lot of the other YouTubers, Bernard, Brendan, Sam Reynolds, they weren't into it. They kind of like always teased us for making YouTube videos because they thought it was uncool and odd. And now they're like, 18 months later, they've come sprinting to try and catch up.
Is
but
there
that's
a league
like
table?
everything, hey?
Is there a league table of mountain bike
No.
YouTube channels?
No, but if anyone's at the top, it's Sam Pilgrim. There's a guy called Austrian guy, Fabio Widmer. He's got the most subscribers, the most view videos. Sam Pilgrim, for I don't know how many years it was. I want to say it was 6 years. I was with him in Taiwan this year. He used to do 3 videos a week, and he said, I never missed one.
Really?
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. He never missed one.
I get so anxious though. About,
he doesn't. That bloke's relentless. He never missed one.
That's unbelievable.
Really?
That's some
And
commitment.
some of his videos, he doesn't like build something massive or
Sometimes
necessarily have to fly somewhere unreachable to do it. He'll ride down a set of stairs with no tyres in his hometown. That's quick to do. You could do it in the morning. But let's not forget, he never missed one.
That's pretty gnarly.
I don't do that.
3 a week.
I do 3 a week a lot, but not for a 12-month period. I'll sometimes have 3 weeks where I don't upload because I'm figuring... yeah, true, but frustratingly for me, it's like trying to view plots of land and then doing the solicitor stuff to rent the land, to then have a chat with the landowner about building the jumps, then hiring machines, then moving enough dirt to build enough of a pile to make the first episode. That can take 3 weeks. But that's the line of work I'm in, where I build stuff. Yeah. So we just do different things, but I've got a lot of respect for Sam in the way he is like unrelenting in not missing videos. And that's why he's got nearly 2 million subscribers and a huge fan base.
How long do you have to, if you've got like a 3 week lead time on something that's actually starting then, how many hands have you got in the fire? How long are you planning into the future?
I quite like getting my teeth into like a series, so I'm never doing too many things at once, but there's often where I could have a bike build here at BRINK on the go, and I'm halfway through building a landing, which is for an episode of my series, and at an event filming something like, let's say I'm at Red Bull Hardline, there's still bits going on at home where I've got Jamie who trail builds for me, like maybe working on something. So yeah, there's always a lot on the go in parallel.
Have you got banked content? Have you got whole episodes, like emergency episodes?
A little bit, but I don't. Yeah, a little bit. Like I've got a folder on my laptop now of a video of me crashing my McLaren on a track day, which I don't know whether to up. Well, I haven't edited it together.
Yeah, go on. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I'd watch that one.
Yeah,
That must have been recent.
a few weeks ago. Is that Stuart out there?
Yeah.
Should we grab him? He probably wants to lock up, doesn't he?
Should we get him?
We don't even need to. We can keep right. Stuart! Real, isn't it? We're at a bike shop.
He's gone. He's gone.
Can we carry on, Ben?
Yeah, we can keep going. Yeah, fine. Yeah. What happened? You crashed your McLaren.
Yeah, I span it off of a track. It wasn't too bad. I needed new tyres and stuff because they got like peeled off.
What?
Yeah, I went backwards over the rumble strips and it like unpeeled my tyres.
No way.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in Formula 1, does it?
No.
Well, I suppose they smash the wheels off every now and then, don't they?
Yeah, I didn't let any air out. They were way too hot because I was trying to do loads of drifts. And when they get really hot, the profile of the tyre stops being flat and it like becomes bulbous.
Right.
So actually very little amount of the tyre was in contact with the track.
Right.
Someone later told me. But yeah.
Oh,
So-
what? Like more like rounded?
Rounded, yeah.
Are they posh tyres?
They're Pirelli P0s on that.
How much a tyre? How
They're
wide are they?
260 quid a corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's about what I expected. I
They're
expected
not
to
as
be
much as you
surprised.
think. Yeah. I say not as much as you think.
That's a lot.
When I got them changed, the most expensive tyres are run flats and with a higher load rating. So cars like the Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Lamborghini SUVs, like a Lamborghini Urus,
They're weird, aren't
they can be
Like that.
£1,000 a corner.
No way.
That's ridiculous.
That's a joke, isn't it?
And that's like, yeah, cool story. You might get loads of life out of them, but not if a nail goes through it.
No, exactly.
Still need a new one.
This podcast is half a car podcast, you know.
Yeah, well, you had Dean on not so long ago.
We
Yeah,
just
cars.
talked about cars.
I love cars. I never liked cars as a kid, uninterested.
You've still got the McLaren, is that right?
Yeah,
What's the next one?
I don't know. Nothing for a bit. Who knows?
You need
The
to-
Aerial Nomad's the best thing I've ever bought.
You could go in between supercar and aerial nomad and go Group B rally car.
Right.
That's
Are they
in
road
between.
legal?
Yeah.
Of course they are. They're rally cars,
Like a
yeah.
Quattro, Audi Quattro.
Yeah, that could be cool. But they sound amazing.
Escort
'Cause
Mark
it's in
II.
between the two. It's supercar speed, but aerial
But
atom.
a family car? Yeah,
Steve's.
but
Yeah, and the ability to still jump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing about the
When you
Nomad.
go shopping for your Group B rally car, give me a shout.
Where'd you go
I'll
shopping?
come. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
There'll be loads in Wales under blankets, won't
they
there?
cost just as much then now, don't they, Group B rally cars? They're like hundreds of thousands for a decent one.
Yeah, they're because they're rally, because they're. The fact we're having this chat means that many other people are.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you go and look at your car?
No,
You don't. Not like it, like because
I do the like lock it when you walk away. When you lock it and walk away, you're like, oh, it's so sick. But
I look at my new car. You'll see my new car.
Fiesta, you get.
Z-Tech S.
I know, don't look at it when it's got its new wheels on it.
Are you
But
going
I'm
to do some
gonna
odds?
debadge it so you don't know it's a Z-Tech.
Oh,
Are you going
yeah.
to do a wiper delete?
You see my new wheels that are down
Oh,
there?
is that what they're? Why are there only two?
Because the other ones are getting refurbished.
Oh, I wanted you to say you were just doing the fronts.
Yeah, just doing it front. I'm mulleting it. Yeah,
You could do that.
I love that car.
Why does no one have like really? Supercars have staggered, bigger.
Yeah, why don't
They
front
go
wheel
bigger
drive
at the
cars
rear or
do
bigger at
that?
the front? Bigger at the rear. Why don't people just put like mullet their car?
Yeah, they're
Super
cars.
wide ones on the rear, on the front, and then little like
Yeah,
tiny little.
for lift
ru-
off oversteer.
Wouldn't it?
That'd be
You
fantastic.
could
That's
do
what you
lift
want.
off drifts.
Like when you reversed onto McDonald's trays
Yeah.
in the car park.
Yeah, I
put your
never did
handbrake
that,
on.
but I wish I did.
Oh, you could do it in your McLaren. Oh, no, you can't. It's rear-wheel
rear-wheel
drive. can't you?
drive.
Do it on your front
You
wheels.
could drift the fronts, drive round understeering. You do some big
Just do it in
understeering.
reverse.
Yeah, reverse
Just in
drift.
practice.
A reverse drift would kick out loads.
That'd be good.
Do your car videos go well?
No, it's a different audience, I think. I think bike riders have one eye on cars and automotive stuff.
Wheels, isn't it?
If you want to watch a
Wheels
car
sport.
video, you're going to watch a car channel. You're going to get more accurate information.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to watch me driving my car, you're going to go and watch a drag race video or, you know, at Top Gear, let's be honest.
I guess us putting a review of my Fiesta Z-Tech S on our BRINK YouTube is a bit weird, right?
No, we should do that.
Should we do it?
100%
Yeah,
do
I
it.
think we should.
100%.
That's
Ah,
different.
I
You
love
should,
it.
no, you should review my car.
Do you know why? Because no one's doing that.
Yeah, we
Nobody's
should.
doing that.
So that's exclusive.
100% should. I love that sort of stuff.
I had an idea for a
Stuff
YouTube channel.
Channel.
A channel
What is it?
which was you can do those supercar rental clubs, can't you?
Mhm.
We like rent a car, and then
Yeah.
I teach my mum to drive because she doesn't know how to drive,
Oh wow.
and I just use supercars. And that's the
So the
YouTube
whole channel stars your mum.
Yeah.
At some point she will learn to drive.
in supercars. And that's it. That's
So
the whole channel.
at some point she'll only know how to drive supercars.
Yes.
Not that they're any different, but
But the only investment is you have to join one of those supercar clubs.
and the curbing.
Yeah, the curbing.
The curbing will
Yeah,
be
the curbing
outrageous.
will be quite gnarly. But yeah, you could do a whole episode, 3-point turn, in a
I curbed
Ferrari, whatever.
I curbed my Lambo once badly. I hadn't driven it for like 2 months. I'd been driving this big Van Haven van, which is on lifted suspension and off-road tyres, which like, do you know in a van, if you turn the wheel, it'll be the same in your Fiesta. If you snatch the wheel to the left, it takes a little while before the car turns to the left, right?
Yes.
It's like, hang on, it's going to travel its way down the steering rack. It'll move that. Then the wheels move. The tyres are even a bit behind that. And then the weight of it goes, okay, let's turn. I'd been driving that, so I'd got used to like, right, left. And then I got in my, I had a Lamborghini at the time and was like coming off a roundabout and just, for some reason, just went like that. And it actually went into the curb, smashed the curb with both left wheels. And I was gutted. They were, on the Performante, these bronze magnesium wheels, which I knew were hard to refurb because they're magnesium, and the bronze paint was like anodized. I knew it was complex. I'd taken a chunk out of it.
Not just wheels.
Lamborghini said they can't do it for some reason. I think they probably just we sell cars, we don't do alloy refurb. The dealer I bought it from, their alloy man said they can't do it. I asked around, and then there was a bloke locally who said, I can absolutely do that, no worries. I do loads of high-end stuff. And he's true, he does. He does like Zonda wheels. But he couldn't find a paint code for this bronze, just couldn't find it. And as you know, when paint's wet, it looks very, very different to when it's dry. So he got a paint which he thought was really, really similar. Like he said, this will be fine and I can refurb that material, it's all going to be all good. He did it and he rang me and said, right, I've done it. I'm not going to charge you straight away because I want you to come and have a look.
Oh, no.
But because I've done both the wheels on the left, they are different to the ones on the right, but the good thing is you can never look at them both at the same time.
Oh, he's right, yeah.
And he's right, but these were gold. They were like, I got there and I like spat my drink out. I said, dude, I can't.
Like Christmas cracker.
Like the top,
toy
like
gold.
that monument outside Buckingham Palace gold,
Yeah,
like 24 karat gold. And they're supposed to be like quite a dark bronze. And he said, well, sorry, the car's nearly 3 years old. No colour stays the same for that long. And I said, but he admitted they were terrible. And then we got closer in the end, but never a perfect match. Then I sold it back to Lamborghini and they came and looked round it and said, yeah, it looks brilliant. No worries. No, because guess why? Because you can't look at them both at the same time.
Yeah.
So someone's driving that around now and they need to...
That's why I'm only refurbing 2 wheels.
There we go.
I
That's
know
clever, yeah.
the already.
What, both fronts?
When you sell it,
But
you
I
just...
only put them on the driver's side because that's the side I walk up to.
No,
I
you
don't
just got to
know.
distract him with conversation in between it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you break the
Lovely
continuity.
weather,
Yeah.
If I ever go and look at a car like that
Oh, look,
with
a
coloured
button.
rim, I'm going to take a mirror on a stick so I can stand at one side looking at the front alloy
Colour.
and look at the back like that. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. We'll take your torque wrench and
Yeah,
take
he
the
never
wheels
got
off.
he never got a good match on that paint. I had a bike frame that I had for a video called Frames of Mind, which had a glitter paint.
It was here, wasn't
I
it?
remember that bike.
Yeah, had like red, orange, fade, stuff like that. I used to patch up the paint on that with nail varnish. Because if there's a glitter paint on a bike somewhere, you can guarantee there's an exact match nail varnish. They've done it all, and yeah, you can't even tell.
Have you got any more big projects coming up like that?
No,
'Cause that was quite big, wasn't it?
yeah.
Frames of,
Whole course build, 2017 that was. Built an entire course at your local spot growing up, Rushmere.
because I showed you where that was.
You did.
And then you built a flipping crazy.
Yeah, we had
Was
jumps up
anything
trees,
there?
loop the loop up there.
Was anything there before that? Because it's now
Not in that zone.
a bike park now, isn't it?
Yeah, there
Created
was
out of
nothing
what
in
you
that
built.
zone. And then off the back of it, the deal was with Rushmere, with the Forestry Commission, is we have to produce like a bike park for youngsters to ride, and we did that. And now actually, there's a pretty good scene up there. I went up there today for a
Pretty
look.
cool.
The original, like after you'd finished filming though, all they did was cut the tops off
Yeah.
of all the jumps, which made it gnarly. Because
It's just
they're now
stupidly long.
15, 20 foot longer than they were with no lip. So it was like the most
Yeah,
crazy jumps you've
they
ever
They
seen.
did also. We did
Was that
also
a
do some
step
good
down?
stuff.
Was that a step down from your thing? We went to Rushmere. The first time we went to Rushmere, we were on an e-bike demo, and he took me off a step down, and I hadn't seen it before. And I literally rolling up to the... He jumps off it, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a big pull. There's no lip on it. If you didn't pull, you wouldn't even hit
that's from
the backside of the landing.
That's now there.
Yeah,
that's still there.
That's
what I
just
mean.
part of the bike park.
It's
Part of
massive.
the bike park
It's a massive
to
pull.
the flattest landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only step down I had that we built was like almost vert. Well, I tried to double flip, but I landed on my head.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember walking around the track you built thinking, I didn't think you were going to build something like this.
Yeah, it has to be big though, doesn't it, to
And
do
the
good tricks?
scale, it was big. It was big. That
I missed that. Doing like
I came and tidied up, didn't I? Do you remember I came and tidied
Yeah.
up? But that ramp jump was the big one.
Yeah.
Was really big.
Yeah,
For the time,
had to quarry out of a hill
it was massive.
to get the dirt. It was swinging for days.
So have you got anything else planned like that?
I want to jump over my house this year, which is a big one.
What,
Um,
over the like?
How
over
big's
the
your
middle
house?
Of the house?
yeah, no, like put a kicker against it and jump
How high is the house?
quite high, 12 metres.
Have you ever jumped that high?
No, I'm going to land on the back side of the roof and then whale tail off the end. Yeah, that's the plan. There's a chimney breast in the way though. I think it's going to be, if I was wearing these jeans, I'm going to have to skim the chimney, which will like shatter my leg. So I'm nervous about it. And I need to get towed in by, I guess, the Nomad. I want to do that this year.
Great idea.
Yeah, I want to do that. But like, come on, if you could tell your childhood self, one day you might get the chance to jump over your house, you'd like shake your own hand and be like, I'm 100%, I'll be there. See you in 20 years.
Yeah. Wow. How
And
big
then-
would the ramp have to be?
And then when you meet people in the pub or on flights or in Tesco's and stuff, and they go, yeah, I used to do all that BMX shit. Like, what do you do then? Like, what's the biggest jump you've done? You say, it's easy then. I've jumped over my house. I used to do. Someone once walked into my compound and said, yeah, I used to do all this skateboarding shit. And it's like the first drop was wood to dirt. It's dirt. Like everything was like you wouldn't work anyway. And he goes, yeah, love all that Ricky Pastrana stuff.
Ricky Pastrana.
I swear on my life, he said those two things. And even better than that, he came back within that year, within a couple of months. And my mate Ronson was in the passenger seat asleep in my Fiat Stilo because he was hungover. The bloke, I didn't see him come in. Got in the driver's seat, started the engine, and like started driving my car out of my compound. And I ran and was like, right, whoa, trying to be a bit sound. Like, what are you doing? And he goes, I need to rob a bank. and Ronson was like starting to stir at this point. And it's like, who's this guy in Matt's car?
Was he?
He's like, I need to rob a bank. I need a car. Like,
Was he serious?
well, he was intoxicated.
Where was he
But
from?
he was headed
There's
off.
No one around there.
I don't know. He used to just wander up with a dog.
Oh, I thought it was one of your mates.
No!
You've invited him before.
Don't know who he is. Never saw him again. But I leant in and took the keys out and was like, you can't use my car for
No,
that.
it doesn't work that way.
No, you won't. It won't help anyway.
Yeah, bring it back.
It's slow. Bring it back.
It's quite a place, that compound.
Compound, yeah.
You
That
still got
was
it. Have you
so
still-
helpful. Yeah, I've got it. I've got an airbag there, a big roll in, and 2 big jumps. And I've had a lot of stuff over the years to learn tricks. I built a flat drop to a mulch landing, had a boner log, an up box, a wall ride, mulch jump, drop. Everything I needed. I never had a whale tail, but everything I needed to learn tricks to do well at slopestyle comps. Yeah, thank goodness for that.
Too small now.
Well, it's much smaller.
Style comps now.
Yeah.
How big are the jumps compared to the jumps at your compound?
Well, it always was smaller, but you don't want to train on the full size stuff. Like cliff divers won't always train on 27-meter diving boards. Less than half the size of a lot of jumps.
Less than half the size. Because
Yeah.
I've never been to Whistler.
Yeah,
I've
they're-
never watched
oh,
the
Whistler's-
crankworks. Like
bizarrely, it's
I
not-
don't know how big they are.
A lot of the kickers are like 14 foot high, which is have you ever been in a BMX vert ramp or a skate
Yeah.
vert ramp that high? It's stepped up, but the fact they're stepped up makes it easier.
That's really big, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can't. When it's well built, big just feels better. It's a longer landing to land on. If you go, I always say this to people: big jumps are statistically safer because the margin for error is so much bigger. If you go,
Yeah. You're more time.
yeah, if you go 5 meters too far on a 10-meter jump, you'll probably land at the land on just about at the bottom of the landing, and you might even like hold on. If you go 5 meters too far on a 2-meter jump, you're dead.
Yeah,
Like there will have been a berm, the track will have gone that way, you're now down a hill in the trees.
I did exactly that at Goodwood
Yeah.
last year. We've got local trails near us, and they're tall, aren't they? Steep BMX trails, and I raced one, and just the landing just.
Goodwood trails.
Yeah,
they're
just disappeared behind me, and I was probably a good.
That's normal.
10 feet
That's
out
because you're a racer.
I was going to say that's normal for someone who doesn't dirt jump. You'd be used to that. You'd be able to hit and pull
and
up.
go up.
And
Yeah.
pull back. Right, no, not up. Back. Off the. You know what I mean? Off the lip of
Yeah,
the jump.
you can turn your speed into height.
Yeah.
So
I turned
That's
it into
that's alien to someone who hasn't done it before.
yeah, you can
Like
almost
pushing.
on dirt jumps you can almost go backwards. Like you can't, but you can pull back so hard that you'd hardly even travel. It was always funny every year when when I used to go to Whistler, but I used to compete in Crankworks and we go to Whistler every year. And Whistler was for me, it was the first time that I'd been in a place where you had all the downhill racers and all the slopestyle riders and maybe some enduro riders and just the legends of mountain biking that were there to commentate in one place. Then you'd find yourself riding a trail with 2 slopestyle riders, 2 downhill racers, Brett Tippy, but it's so funny how everyone hits jumps differently. Because if you're in a train, all going the same speed, everyone will land in a different place.
right. Yeah.
So you get like a racer saying, I can't follow you. I cannot follow you because you hit jumps so slow. Because like being a good dirt jump slopestyle rider is being able to case a jump and still create enough speed to clear the next one. So you always find yourself pulling up. So like Ben Deacon can't follow me or Sam Pilgrim because
he just goes forwards.
he can't clear the jumps. He's going too slow for his speed. But then if we followed him in at his speed, he like races it, we'd probably go miles. So then you end up realising that like if someone says how fast should I hit this jump, your answer is irrelevant. It's like how fast do you hit jumps?
So when it gets to something that's like ridiculously crazy, like Fest Series size jumps, how do you know before you've hit it? How do you know how hard to pull up off
There's more
a hard line jump, a fast line
science
jump?
in those jumps.
Follow someone and do nothing. You just find someone where you say, can I follow you? I've never hit this jump. Can you just hit it at like do nothing speed?
Just ride off it.
Yeah,
just
ride
off
off
the
it.
end
Yeah,
of the
it's
lift.
true.
There's more science in those jumps than there are at the local dirt jumps, right?
What more science thought out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more man maths going on with the
Yeah.
ramp.
Darkfest is the only.
Psych.
Yeah, Darkfest is the only one I've done in South Africa, and I'm going back again in a couple of months. So Sam Reynolds works a lot on that, but the main machine operator is Clements Cordella. He's obsessed. He's like, he'll change a jump by 1 degree.
Really?
He'll say, next year I'm going to make that 1 degree steeper. And we all notice the difference. It's really cool. But yeah, he's good with that. He built that 110 footer.
Yeah.
But guess what? The first guy that jumped it landed it really well.
Perfectly.
And then he flipped it. Imagine building there's such a responsibility building a 110 foot jump. And not only it wasn't like there was a 90 foot jump there before, and then they said, let's make this 20% bigger, and therefore we'll make the jump before 20% bigger. The entire route from the top of the hill with this huge 50 foot step down, the roller before was all new, and it fitted together like a glove.
That's mad, isn't it?
Is there lives?
Amazing.
Is there lives at risk then?
Yeah, on that there is.
There are.
Yeah.
There-
You can't crash
So
into the
what
back of that
point-
landing.
Sam was saying that the air temperature changes the density
Yeah,
of the
that was
air.
crazy. In the morning when you ride, it's in a big valley, right? And in the morning, the air's cool. Everywhere, a lot of places in the world. And as the day goes on, it gets warmer. Hot air rises, but because you're on a mountain like that, rising hot air becomes wind. And it gets more dense.
Yeah.
So we found that earlier in the day, you could hit jumps much slower than later in the day because the air density was getting higher, or it was wind. Like wind, you understand, but yeah, it was a genuine thing, the air density thing.
And I guess the longer you're in the air,
The more those
the
things
more
affect
those
you.
things matter. Right?
Okay, because if you hit a 2 meter jump
Yeah.
and you have something that knocks 10% off, you're going to case it by 20 centimeters.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a tire case. A 110 footer, what did I say? 10%.
Yeah.
10%.
You're 11 foot short.
Well,
Yeah,
even if
like
you're 20 centimeters short
You're
of that
actually
jump,
dead.
the force
Oh,
of
yeah,
that rear
true.
wheel is going to pull it off anyway, isn't
Yeah,
it?
10% short on a 110 footer, you're probably brown bread.
And you're going, what, 50k an hour?
It's more, I think. 10% far and you're okay because the landing's so long.
And what happens to your speed? So you're in.
I didn't do that jump.
You didn't do the
No,
110.
I left-
Well, the 90 was
Yeah.
splitting hairs.
Yeah.
The 90 then. So you take off at X speed, 60k an hour. You're in the air. What happens to your speed at that? Because
You slow down loads.
you do slow down.
Absolutely.
Because at dirt jumps, you go up, you come down, you pump, you can gain speed.
Yeah.
Right? So, but you slow down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 jumps.
That's mental.
Okay, the last 2 jumps at Darkfest are on a hill like this.
Yeah.
You're on a hill like that. Massive jump, massive jump. Which one's going to be bigger?
Well, you'd like to think
second
the
one.
second one.
The
wouldn't
second one's smaller. Because you lose speed in the air. You lose it rolling down a hill. It feels like it's
So is
it's
there-
crazy.
Terminal
It
velocity.
is more stepped up, but
Is
that
there a max? Is there a physical? Like, would it have to be in trees, for instance?
Yeah, skin suits.
yeah, you could wear different stuff. You could change your hub bearings. You could change the dirt. Your tyres are going to be a big thing.
Indoors,
Tyres are huge. You could have thinner air, do it at altitude.
vacuum in a vacuum.
When I whipped that 90-footer, strangest thing I've ever felt. I took off and went to do a whip, let's say that way, yeah?
Yeah.
Pushed my back wheel out. The jump's so long and big that as I pushed the back wheel out, the air's pushing it back in. Okay, so I was like, cool, I'm going to land straight. But then it made it go the other way. So I started my whip one way, and by the time I came into the land, I was like, how on earth am I now rotating the wrong way? It's true. Apparently, motocross riders are like, yeah, for sure you feel that. They get it all the time. Like, that might be why they can bring those
Is that
gnarly
where they
whips
go,
back.
yeah, literally go round and then come back on themselves again.
Air's going to help. That's one factor.
They bank on it almost.
So, yeah, biking.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Big jumps are really scary, aren't they? I've never done anything that big. That's really.
It's not actually that hard. I guarantee if you followed me in.
You said to me, I remember you coming back, and you said it's literally like jumping off a curb. You just ride off it,
Yeah.
and it's fine. And I still don't believe you.
Oh, honestly, if you two followed me, you can't follow someone too close though, because of
You
drag.
get dragged.
Then you hit it too fast.
and then
No
you
way.
Over clear.
Yeah, that's something else I learned.
Fantastic.
I was like, I'll follow you, and Ike, whose dad owns the land, said, "Don't follow. Yeah, follow me. Don't follow me too close, because coming into it, you'll get slipstream off me. So by the time we both leave the lip, you'll be catching me up."
Holy crap.
And it's
take
true.
That's
take over.
And I felt that even at a bit of range. So it's not surprising, is it? It's why Formula One cars follow each other. But
Yeah.
So the next episode, the next YouTube episode we do will be at Phoenix Bike Park with you towing us in, but not too close to
So,
the
yeah,
new
you've
BRINK
got
line.
to Teach us how to jump again.
the brink lines
Been
are
a
sick.
while.
Yeah, you'll do that. It's actually really well built.
Have you jumped it?
Yeah,
You have. Is it good?
brilliant. Very well built.
We've got a line at Phoenix Bike Park named after BRINK, the bike shop that we own, and
It's massive.
no one at BRINK has ever jumped it.
Well, it's one of the-
No, Kian has.
Good lad.
No,
He's
he
jumped,
hasn't.
no, he hasn't got all the way through it, but he's jumped it.
He has
he
he
crashed.
jumped it more than we have.
Yeah, he's jumped more of it than,
It's
than I
sick.
have.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
didn't
should
have a summer
follow
this year. Maybe I'm getting to the age where everyone starts saying that, but we had a wet year.
Yeah,
Wet and windy year.
It's
Yeah.
wet and windy. Next year is going to be much better for riding.
Yeah. And I've got stuff to ride. You guys haven't ridden my pit bike track or my trails. or
Oh,
my skate park.
yes.
So we need to go
Oh,
to
what a
the
year
bike
we're going to have.
I'm thinking of doing a 24-hour pit bike race.
Yes.
What,
Yes.
a team one.
Yeah.
How many bikes are you going to have for that? How many teams?
3 teams? I don't know, maybe more.
Do you think you're going to have more than one bike per team? They're not
Yeah.
going to last 24
I
hours,
need
are
to
they?
talk to you about.
Speak to Gasca.
I forget we're on a podcast.
Oh, yeah, Gasca.
actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to talk to you about Red Bull soapbox race.
Oh, yes.
What do you mean?
Are you up?
We
for
got
it?
an entry
What,
today.
I'll enter it. Yeah, I never.
do it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, we're doing it.
What sort of theme?
We're all
We're
geeks.
we're
We're doing.
doing it.
Yeah, well, they'll all be geeks. We won't be
We're
the only
doing it.
nerds doing that.
Yeah,
I've already applied some pressure.
You heat
can
the
apply
room.
some pressure.
You heat the room with a heat gun.
Yeah.
Imagine what the.
It's quite cold in here now.
Yeah, I'll fire that up in a minute.
I did want to talk to you about sponsorship,
We'll do another podcast.
but maybe we'll talk to you on another podcast
Yeah.
because I'm quite cold.
We have chatted for quite a long time, haven't we?
How long has it been? Is that a podcast?
That's a podcast.
Hour and a half?
That's about right.
Podcast and a half, that, isn't it?
Sick.
That's about right.
Yeah, sponsorship. Let's talk about it properly.
Sponsorship, I think, is its own, is a whole hour of chat about
If
the
it's
requests.
if it's educational, yeah.
It needs to be. I think people need to know. And I was chatting to someone earlier about this, and people need to know what it is to be sponsored, what it means, how to be sponsored. The problem is you have to keep saying it because a new generation of people come through that haven't seen your previous instructional
Yeah,
video.
and the rules will have changed.
And the rules probably would have changed. Let's
Let's
come
do
back
that.
and talk to
Yeah, go on.
talk about
Let's
it.
see how that does. How to get sponsored. Maybe I'm not the best person to. Well, I'm still.
Well, you
doing
are
it.
sponsored.
Quite sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're more sponsored than we are.
I'm still I'm still getting new ones. All right, I'm up for that.
Wicked. Cheers, Matt. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, it was good.
We'll
On the
we'll
brink.
have you on
On the
again.
brink.
We're on the brink.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks for
That's
all this.
episode 3.
Thanks for the support with the
Oh,
shop and my
smashing it.
bikes. Thanks for having me. Legend.
Thanks.
Cheers, dude.